My Dead Friend Zoe, the newest movie that is out on the big screen. Let's talk about it. So, My Dead Friend Zoe is the newest movie that is coming out, I believe, on the 28th of February, I think it is. 28th or 21st. It's either this week or next week. It's coming out very, very soon. Now, this movie tackles some very deep themes. Very deep themes. I mean, we're tackling crazy, crazy stuff that I think a lot of us have had situations where we've dealt with similar things throughout our life. Now, the whole idea of this movie is actually based on a true story. The person that wrote it, I believe he's the director as well. I think so. He was in the military, and this is, he took a story that he actually experienced, changed around a few bits, things here and there, but told this story that is very much an awareness sort of thing as well of something that goes on in life as well with military veterans and stuff who come back after service and really struggle with life and depression and, everything like that, and, end up actually committing suicide. So that's what this tackles, a lot of that stuff. Now, the whole premise of the movie is we have our main character who's dealing with the loss of her friend. Obviously, the name is in the title. So I'm not spoiling anything. This is in the trailer, and this is literally the title of the movie, My Dead Friend Zoe. That's the whole point, is she's trying to deal with her friend's death of Zoe after she gets out of the military. So she's dealing with that. Now, the whole idea is about her opening up and talking about the situation, but she can't. And her friend is always there. Like, that person is there. She sees it. She's the only one that can see it. So she's struggling with letting go of something that happened in the past. And that is a major thing that runs through here, is the idea of the past. Sometimes, like, letting go of things and events that happened in the past. And there's a beautiful line here by Morgan Freeman in this movie talking about that. Is like, what's it worth to you? Like, how much worth are you getting out of living in the past? Like, it's something like that, where it was really, really deep and thoughtful. And I was thinking to myself when he said that line very similar to that, it's like about the past, and like, is it worth continuously living in? Is it worth giving up the future for what happened in the past? It's very, very interesting, because a lot of us go through things like that. Events will happen in our past and we'll cling on to it, especially like the whole idea of loss. Dealing with loss is one of the hardest things in life to do. Losing a loved one, losing a close friend. Everyone goes through it in life. It's just inevitable. It's the one thing that we can't stop. And one thing that we know is certain. It's 100% certain this is going to happen one day. But you're never fully prepared for it. And I think this movie tackles that in a way where I think a lot of us can relate to and understand where this character is coming from and how hard it is to actually let go of this particular person. And the thought about what happened is always going to eat you up and break you down from the inside. So I think that was such a very, very strong message going through. But I think the strongest message, and as someone who has had military throughout my family, my dad's obviously been in the military, so I have very, very close ties with people going overseas and stuff like that and then coming back, and I understand what it's like to live with someone that's gone through all that stuff. And you're watching this person really struggle mentally and stuff like that, and it's something that I don't think a lot of us talk about or anything like that. And this movie really tackles that, and the events of like what happens after they come back, tackling with that, because there's a lot of themes around here about, people who come back from the military and they actually struggle a lot, and it's, they end up actually committing suicide. And there was a stat at the end of the movie about more people commit suicide when they get back from the war than people actually die in the war, which is kind of crazy to think about. And it just shows you the awareness levels. And there's a particular moment in the movie that happens that also really reflects on us as a people, about someone, when you look at your phone and you're like, oh yeah, your mum's calling, your dad's calling, or friends calling, something like that. And you're like, yeah, I'll get to that later. It's all good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, I'll call them back later. But you just never know what they're thinking on the end of the other line or anything like that. So it's always like this thing that comes back to you of like, maybe just accept that call. Maybe just go, hold on, I just got to take this call quickly. and then take that call and, see what's going on. Check in with people. So this movie is very much a suicide, uh, you know, awareness movie where it tackles all those dark themes. Obviously, it's masked with a little bit of the dark comedy because it is a comedy. At the end of the day, he wanted to kind of make a dark comedy, and the comedy does work. There are moments where it's like this dark type of comedy that you're laughing at. Then there's other light-hearted jokes and everything like that, but it's never taken in a disdain taste where it leaves this foul, taste in your mouth. It's never like that. So I thought this movie did handled the comedy element and the serious element in a very well balanced manner that actually gets across the message that they're trying to tell while also giving you some laughs and stuff like that. And there are some characters in here that are more comedic relief. There's a guy within the aged care who runs the aged care. He's like that sort of comedic character that when he's on screen, it takes a bit of that lightheartedness on the screen, takes away from the deep, dark stuff that we're dealing with here, and just sheds on a little bit of life, like, fun in life that we all need. So I think the balance was right. Now, the performances are great. I thought the performances were great. The interactions and the characters, there was lots of layers to the characters that you can really understand, and the relationships. And, another theme in this whole entire movie is the idea of our grandparents and how we can take them for granted sometimes. And that is another theme that runs through here. It's about, where were you, like, during this time, and that, like, why haven't I seen you, stuff like that. And then when you reconnect with them, it's like, oh, why did I take so long? And, like, you just realize we have such a fine amount of time that trying to, juggle everything is hard. It's hard. You obviously can't be in two places at once, but trying to dedicate enough time to spend with your grandparents, stuff like that as well. That's another theme that runs through here as well. But overall, I think the chemistry with the characters and the actors is fantastic. I think the themes are great. The story is beautiful. Twists and turns left, right, and center. You think you've worked it out, and then you think you haven't. So be prepared for that. It's emotional. It hits you on a deeper level. I think people who have military backgrounds and stuff will really connect with this movie on a deeper level. I think people who have, deal with other situations that I've talked about in this movie will connect with this on a deeper level. I think this is a very good movie. I think it is a very good movie that sends a very good message that I think a lot of us still need to hear, myself included, just to give us an idea of how fragile life is and what a phone call could do. So yeah. So let me know what you guys thought. If you did see it, let me know your thoughts down below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.